friends.
Welcome to Leave Me Alone. I'm working on it. I'm Cassie J.
I'm Ore Ajewale.
Ore Ajewale.
It's such a mouthful. I should just
Why
go
do
back to
you
saying
say this?
Ore. Nothing.
Why?
It doesn't matter. I'm
It's
Ore.
your
I'm Ore
name.
Ajewale. Yeah, I'm still Ore. That's also my name.
Is it very common in Nigeria for the wife not to take the husband's last name? Is that a common thing?
No.
So this is a choice you made?
Yes.
Did you and Dummy discuss this before you?
Of course.
Okay. What was that discussion like? Sorry, I realize now that I've never asked you this question. And as you're saying it now, I'm like, hold on. Why are you not Oreo Yabancho? Why is that not who you are? How did we get here?
We did discuss it. It was more around at the time I used to be a TV presenter, right? And at the time I had built a brand around my name. So it'd been a few I don't know how many years, a few years of me being Oriajewale everywhere on TV and all of that stuff. And I'd built this brand with my name. And so I was like, if we get married, I should very much like to keep my Oriajewale that I've worked very hard to build at the time. It was what was important. And he was like, yeah, sure, absolutely. You worked hard and you've built this. He's okay with it. And then I was like, if we have kids, they can have your name. And then I got pregnant. And I remember thinking, hang on a minute. I'm the one who's limping. My back hurts. I can't sleep. I'm nauseous. And this child's going to pop out and have your name. And I'm like, I don't want that. And so we went on this journey. I don't think I was being very serious about it. I think it was just in the moment. And so I remember not long before Mikey was born, Dami goes, so wait, what surname is this child going to have? And I'm like, oh, you took me seriously. And I'm like, this is not because for me, it's like, it was not a battle I wanted to get into because there are many people that would be involved in this. My parents, his parents, the community, our siblings, our friends. It would be a whole thing because it's absolutely unheard of. So it's not like I was being serious about it.
Do you think there is a world Dummy would be okay with him being Micah?
There is a world where he might have been okay if we combined it.
Yeah, I
don't know. Is there? He must tell us. I don't know. I'm making assumptions on this man. I feel like there maybe it's a very small world though. It's like not even a world. It's like a dot. I don't know. I never actually asked seriously, but it wasn't something I was really going to do because it's just not what and I wasn't ready for that fight. And also it would be, see, here's my thing, and what I'm struggling with in the world today is that in the effort to right a wrong, we are oftentimes overcorrecting. So in as much as I'm like, hey, this child is also mine, he should also have my name, but the child is also Dami's and he should have Dami's name too. So if we're talking about equality, then both parties should be treated the same way. Should get whatever is their right. And I think Dami recently told me a story about one of his friends, colleagues, someone who, I don't know, maybe let's say it's a coworker, I don't know. And she's got two last names. And so Dami didn't know that it was two last names. He just thought it was a long last name. And so he was asking her to help him pronounce it correctly or something. And then she said she did. And then she said to him, oh, by the way, they're two last names. They're not together. And he was like, oh, you have two last names? She's like, yeah, because where she's from, that's what they do. The child is giving the last name of both the mom and the dad. So you have your first name.
How does that translate to your children?
Two last names. So for her children, I don't know. That's what I want to understand. For her children, because now she's got two, her husband's got two, so that's four last names. I don't know how it works. But somehow she's, or maybe.
There's also a world where if you look at like if you look at Brooklyn Beckham
Mm,
and whatever her name, Nicola Peltz, they both changed their last names. Both of them changed their last names.
Compound name, right?
To Peltz Beckham.
Yeah, people do that as well. I know people do that, but there's no world in which Dami's changing his name. The man is many things, but he's not going to do that one.
But he's still a Nigerian man.
He is he's a Yoruba boy to the core. The man is liberal. He's forward thinking. He's compassionate. He's kind. He doesn't care about a lot of things. But this one,
That's funny.
This one, funny. He would die. Yeah, he was not changing his name. So it just wasn't. He was fine for me to keep mine. And now I'm just questioning whether or not I still want to keep it, because now we've got Micah and he's got a different name from me. And so I'm like,
going to say, it's like now when you guys travel or whatever,
I must get a letter. Yeah, from the dad.
I promise this is my child. Do you know what I mean?
And it also doesn't help that the child does not look like me. He looks like his dad. Like copy, paste. It doesn't help. So... and I was reading this article the other day where this woman was it an article? I don't know, something where someone was like, I'm not taking my husband's last name because my name is my name. I'm not going to take a man's name. And someone responded to be like, but girl, that's your dad's name. You did take a man's name.
Yeah.
So it's like, true. You can't win either ways. If you truly don't want to take a man's name, then you're just going to have to choose your own last name. Yeah. You can't even take your mom's one because your mom's one is her dad's one.
Yeah, for sure. I think for me, it's like, it's less about taking a man's name.
Yeah.
And it's more about like, I like my name, Cassie.
Yeah,
Cassie
I just want to keep my name. You know? It's like I like my name. I'm not. For me, it wasn't like a feminist stance or anything. I like my name. I had a brand, tied to my name. I want to keep my name, and he was aligned. It wasn't like a big thing. Fine, we moved on from it. But I don't judge anyone whether you change your name or you don't. I feel like it's such an inconsequential thing. Like it does not make you any less married to me. Anyway, on paper, you're always going to be married. So I think people should do what makes them happy. Guys, I am in a Marie Kondo kind frame of mind, but if it sparks joy for you, keep doing it, boo.
Then do it. Then keep
if it doesn't, thank it and move on. That is honestly where I'm at right now. Like if it sparks joy, keep doing it. I'm not even judging people for anything. I'm just like, I want to be zen. It's not in my person to be zen, but working on it.
Man, yeah. And I think it really all just comes down to, again, it's like the pressures of society and what was previously done and how the world is changing what is changing societal norms. And some people are okay with it and some people are really struggling. Some people are really, really struggling with these changes. And I kind of get it because you're kind of born into a world where this is how you saw things happening. And now as you age, you thought that it would happen the same way, but now the world is changing. A key thing, which brings me to actually what I want to talk about today, is if you spend time on socials right now, what you see a lot happening is this battle between men and women, and it's not a new battle for sure, but I think that there are new layers to it now. Okay. Which I have observed and I think is quite interesting. And so there are the people on socials who are like, well, I hate men and never do anything for men and, men are trash and, burn men at the stake and,
hectic. All right.
There are those people. And in the comment section of those are naturally men who are going, you're the worst, you're so difficult, you'll die alone, you're all of these things. And it's difficult to disagree with them because sometimes because sometimes the man hate, at least for me, can sometimes be a little bit overwhelming if it's just we're hating on men for the sake of hating on men. But what I want to talk about today is the hate women receive from men that I believe is completely unjustified, in the sense that it is a woman who's posting, like, so for example, there's a post on Instagram the other day of this woman who was like, she's like, I feel truly content in my life. She was just like, I'm content in my life. And she went on to go and say, I've got a beautiful group of friends. I have a beautiful home. And the background of she was doing a voiceover, and the video was her coming home at the end of the day, watering her plants, doing a bit of yoga, cooking a meal, pouring herself a glass of wine, sitting on the couch to watch something on TV, and then getting into bed. And the voiceover was, I'm content. Like, I have a good life. I love my job. I love my home. Like, I recently, I bought my own home. I have a good job. Like, I have a great group of friends. I love my family. Like, I'm in this time in my life where I'm so content and I'm so happy. And I wish this for all the women of the world. Like, it was such a lovely video. Into the comment section.
Of course.
All of the men are just like, yeah, but you're alone and you're probably gonna die alone. How old are you anyway? That you're like, you say you've got your own apartment, you're probably like in your mid-30s, you're gonna die. What man is gonna be with a woman who has her own, like, already has all of this stuff? It was vile. It was so vile. And I was just like, oh, hot damn. Like, so much hate on this beautiful, beautiful video. And all across the internet is a lot of this. And I feel like we're at the point in our lives where there's a type of woman in the world that society just doesn't know how to deal with. Okay.
Yeah. Don't know what box to put you in.
Exactly. It's not the loud woman. It's not the angry woman. It's not the rude woman. It's not the mean woman. It's the one that just doesn't need anything from anyone, is very content to say, no, thank you, I'm okay, is very content to walk away from a situation, an opportunity, a man or whatever, because she's got choice, right? It's the woman that is hard and difficult to manage. Okay.
Yeah.
And I use that word manage because she's not gonna take bullshit anymore. She's not gonna
girls
take
got
anything.
options.
Girl, exactly. Homegirl has options. And for me, what that means is when something is presented to her, she's the kind of person who's going to ask questions. She's going to seek clarity. She's going to unpack it, take time to process it. She's not going to fall down on her knees and be like, thank you so much for saving me. And effectively, I feel like what this woman is, the woman that people don't know how, or society doesn't know how to deal with anymore, is a woman who is ultimately inconvenient to society, right? She's become inconvenient because she's no longer what you want her to be.
I think it's because she can no longer be controlled, because all of the things that you would have used to control her before, she has them now. She doesn't need anything per se from you. Yeah. And so there's nothing to use to control her.
Exactly. And it's crazy because these women are then, I mean, this is something that we know, but like the woman who is inconvenient, instead of being praised for her sense of discernment in a situation, she's called difficult, she's called intense, she's called disagreeable. It's given all of these terms, but really she's just going, actually, that doesn't work for me.
Yeah.
I'm going to do something else. Right. So yeah, I think, yeah. Anyway, so I've been thinking about this and this idea of like being inconvenient. Be inconvenient.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Challenge the status quo. own your own space. Ask the questions. And I'm not
Yeah.
saying be the loud, angry feminist. I'm not saying be rude. I'm not saying be mean. I'm not saying do all those things, but take up space in a way that makes other people uncomfortable, because it's not about you. It's actually really all about them needing to figure out how to control themselves now in society.
Yeah. I immediately have two thoughts. And now I can't remember one of them. Guys, this mom brain thing, it's real, hey? It's very real. I used to think it was an excuse to just get away with things. The way I have judged humans, judged moms, judged parents in the past. Look at me now. Anyway, I was going to say something. What was I going to say?
Okay.
Right. I was going to say that I've also seen some of these posts. And one of the things that it always comes back to me is, I don't know if you've seen these posts about these women who are like, the reason why. So there's been a strong push to women to like have your own things, have your own money, have your own car or your own savings or your own home. Even if you are in a relationship, if you're
100%.
buying a home together, you got to make sure that your name is also on that thing. You know, there's been this strong push to be this is the easiest way to say it, to be married but single. To be married but independent. There's been a strong push. And when you see a lot of those posts where men are like, women these days are not like our mothers back then.
Yeah.
Mom would go to work, come home, do the cooking, do the cleaning, la la la. I saw this one post. This man was like, my grandma had 8 kids. She'd go to work. She'd still come back. She'd cook. She'd clean. When my granddad got home from work, there'd be food on the table. La 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 la. These women these days aren't even doing anything, and they're so tired. And I remember, and they're complaining. And I remember someone responded. I went, the reason why we're not taking this shit anymore is because after grandma had fed everyone, she called her daughters aside and said, make sure you have your own money. Yes. Make sure you have options. Yes. Make sure that when you get married, you are not locked in, that you can walk out at any time if it's not working for you. 100%. That's why we're like this. And it's actually very true, because it's kind of filters down. They took a lot of shit back then, but slowly, gradually, loudly or not, women are finding their voices and are realizing that the one thing that we need to survive is options. And what provides you with options is money, a job, connections, friends, your own things, like just being an independent individual who has chosen willfully to enter into this relationship, not because you need it, but because you want it. That's where a lot of women are currently right now. And it's not working out for these men. And I'm not a man hater. I'm married to a man. My dad's a man. I love men. I think there are decent men out there.
Yes,
the rest of you, I don't know. But for me to say what I'm about to say, I think that it is very important, even in those in a loving marriage or relationship, whatever, that you still maintain and hold on to your individuality. Like, you shouldn't, I don't think you should make yourself small for a man to marry you. But in the same vein, I don't think you should make yourself small to stay in a marriage. If you have outgrown that man and it's now inconvenient, like if what he used to be able to control you was money, the fact that he had more money, and so he bought your car, he paid for the bills, he bought the home, and so you are like, I can't leave even if I don't like it because I've got nowhere to go, and you have your own things now, like it frees you to make a choice. Like, I want to stay and work on my marriage because I want that. Not because I got nowhere to go.
I need it. Yeah.
You get me.
Man, and it really takes me back to, we spoke about this a couple episodes ago, but like it takes me back to all of those interviews that you see on social media with the old ladies, and they're like, what would you change? Like if you could go back and you could change something, what would you change? They're all like, I wouldn't get married. Like, and the one woman, she really broke it down in such an incredible way, because she echoed exactly what you're saying now. She said, I think about my life, and she's like, she wanted to be I can't remember. It was a scientist, but it was like a fancy scientist, like a hardcore scientist. I can't remember.
Let's call it a NASA one.
Like homegirl
something in NASA. Okay,
right?
She had dreams.
She really had the dreams to do that, and but like her father wouldn't pay for it. Firstly, it wasn't common for women to go to university when she was of the age, and her father laughed in her face and said, no, what do you mean? We're not going to send you to university.
Shame.
We're going to marry you to George, who lives 2 streets down, right? Like, you're going to marry George.
And has a little farm and a few cows and some chickens.
And she didn't have option, and she just kept saying, "What you women today, you don't know how good
what you have."
It.
Yeah.
She's like, you don't know how good you have it. She was like, even as she aged herself, because she was 88 in this video. She's like, so she's seen a real transformation of what's when she was born, a woman couldn't vote. So
yeah,
she's seen,
I can't even remember. I can't imagine a world like that.
Yeah, right. And she was also unpacking, again, your thing on the financials. She was like, she wasn't allowed to open a bank account without a letter from her father or her husband. And her husband said to her, why do you don't need a bank account. Because she tried. Her husband said, you don't need a bank account. I'm not signing any letter. You don't need it. You're fine. Her father also was like, obviously he married her to George, so he wasn't going to sign the letter either. But she was like, you woman, you don't know how good you have it. The fact that you have choice, the fact that you can work. She's like, I would have killed to have been the scientist and contributed to all of these different things. Wasn't able to do that. Wanted my own money. Couldn't make my own money. And then she said, even if I was able to make my own money, she said, I would have been in a job where I would have earned 30% of what a man would have earned. I still would not have been able to make enough money to support myself.
Yeah.
Right. And so when she painted the picture out like that, because most people are like, oh, I wouldn't get married. And we all go, ha, 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 ha. But she painted the picture and she was just like I would choose myself, I would choose myself in every opportunity.
Yeah.
And to go back to the other thing that you said, which I think is so important, is the world today is structured in a way where it pushes women to be more confident. We're encouraged to be more confident. We're encouraged to choose ourselves, post the self-love video, start the business, blah, 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 right? We're encouraged to be confident as long as it doesn't inconvenience
someone else. Yeah.
Right? As long as it doesn't annoy anybody else. Because confidence is saying no.
Yeah.
Confidence is setting boundaries. Right? Confidence is walking away when you need to walk away.
Yeah.
But when you do those things, suddenly everybody's like, whoa, 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 woman. No, sorry, no. That's not what we meant. Right?
Yeah.
It needed to stop at the Instagram video. And then that's when you start to, and beyond the comments, it's also like comments on socials. It turns into what people say to you. Like, but you've changed. You're so different now.
Yeah. That's because I found my voice.
I don't recognize you. Be careful though, because, we don't want you to become too difficult.
Hectic.
And it's like, you told me to be confident. You told me to choose myself. And now I am. But you're upset about it. Make it make sense. It
doesn't. That's the whole point. I think I remember telling you, and I may have even talked about it on the podcast before, when I was much, much younger and just starting out my career. And I remember this person, this man that I looked up to and respected, saying to me, I needed to lock down a spouse or a husband before I got too successful. And his reasoning was because
so many times.
His reasoning was because if I did get successful and had my own thing, my own house, my own car, no man was going to marry me. It would be difficult for a man to marry me. So I needed to lock that thing down before I got successful and get successful in the marriage. And this is, I mean, I was young and I remember just thinking, what? First of all, he was giving this advice to the wrong person. I wasn't even a hun that was trying to get married. I'm surprised that I got married as early as I did. And I didn't get married that early anyway. But I wasn't even trying to get married. For me, because I remember my mom asking me one time, like, are you even interested? And I was just like, I don't even know what to say to this woman. Because what do I say that's not going to become a sermon?
Say to that?
What do I say to you? But he was obviously giving the advice to a wrong person. This is the same Han who decides keeping her own name in marriage, you know? For me, the goal was I had big dreams and I had things I wanted to achieve and things I wanted to do. And I was like, if I do find a partner along the way, I would absolutely welcome that. But it was not ever the goal for me. And I've jokingly said because my sister is also the same way. And I've jokingly said to my sister, I was like, our mom has gone to report us to God and God has just sorted you and I out because otherwise our mom would not let him rest because it was just not. And the funny thing is, she's also the same Han who raised us to kind of be independent, to go after our own dreams, to be strong, to be fair, there were times where she did all the whole husband thing and it pissed me off. But for the most part, my mom also wanted you to be a strong, independent go-getter. And my dad fully supported us. You know, you have to go to school. You have to have a degree. You have to get a job. You have to pursue your own life. Yeah. But it's funny for me because if I hadn't gotten married and I'd gotten to this level with like this woman who says I'm content, it probably would not have happened for me because I'm lazy, first of all. I don't have the energy, you know? So I'm just like, if I'm married, I know, but I resonate with this woman. It's like, you can live a full life without necessarily.
Beautiful video.
But the haters are gonna hate.
The haters, and also like I would by no means describe her as fat. She was like curvy, you know? Mm-hmm. And so men also in the comments were like,
you're too fat for
you're single because you need to lose some weight. Like anything to take her down. And also unprovoked. She said nothing about a man. She didn't call out men. She didn't even go, men are trash. She said nothing about men. She just said, me, myself, and I'm happy. My life is good. And men could not deal. They could not cope.
Can I tell you that somewhere in those comments, and you're probably going to hate me for this, somewhere in those comments were women who are married and miserable who also could not cope and would have come for her. They're there. They're in there. Women who didn't have a choice or who thought that or who bowed or folded to whatever pressure from parents, society, or whatever, seeing the life they could have had if they had just used their voice, if they had just resisted. They're in those comments. They're right there.
I'm with you. I've seen comments from women as well, kind of going, you know, your life won't be full until you have children. Your life won't be full until you're
But if I don't want to have children, you know?
Yeah, sure. And it's
I mean, it's late for me, but what if the person doesn't want to have children?
But I'm with you. I just think like it's sad to think that a woman wouldn't see another woman thriving and be like, girl, do you? You know, like live your bit. We're so happy for you. You know?
So I like that you're saying, sorry, I was just gonna say, I like that you're saying this thing about single women, you know, like we're assuming the woman in the video is single. For all we know, homegirl can be married. Homegirl can be in a stable, loving relationship.
She said nothing about a relationship.
She said nothing about it.
She also didn't say that she was or wasn't in one. She just said,
maybe it's still under wraps. Maybe they're just not announcing. I don't know.
Guys, I'm really happy. That's all she said. And it just sent people into it.
But let's for this thought that I want to process, let's just assume that she's not in a relationship. She's happy by herself, content and fulfilled by herself. And your because what you're saying is be inconvenient, you know, like say no, speak your mind, choose what works for you, choose yourself. But you were speaking about it more from a single woman lens. I actually want to speak about it from even being married. Like even being married,
I actually wasn't even
inconvenient.
speaking about it from a romantic lens at all. I was just speaking as women in the world. Women, whether you're
Yeah.
married, whether you're single. I'm saying in
Yeah.
the boardroom, be
Just
inconvenient.
be inconvenient.
In
Like
the
speak out.
grocery store, be inconvenient.
Speak
At the
out.
car wash, be inconvenient. Like, and again, being inconvenient.
Not
I'm not saying be rude.
unnecessarily so.
I'm
but
not saying be rude. I'm not saying be mean. Don't engage in a Karen just for the sake of being a Karen. But if you're at the, like, I mean, a good example for me, like that I believe is a good example for me was when we moved to Dubai, right? And I was in Dubai, I needed to buy a car, okay? And I went to the car. I've told you the story.
I'm not sure. Keep going.
I told you, sorry, so I need to buy a car. I go to the car dealership. I've always really wanted to drive a Jeep Wrangler. So I go to Jeep and I'm like, I'm going to live my best Jeep life. And I'm committed to purchasing a car, which for any car salesperson is a dream. Right? It should be a dream, right? So I walk and I say, hey, I'd like to look at your Wranglers. I'm looking between these two particular options, these two different specs, these two different price points. Can I see the car? So I'd done my research. I came in as a knowledgeable hun, right? The guy was like, are you sure this is what you want? Like, it's such a big car, like, I'm not sure that you can handle it. Will you be able to, literally, he said to me, will you be able to park it? Will you be able to,
My face.
will you be able to handle like such a big machine? Like, because I was on the
It's a car. You put it in drive. What are we handling?
And I was like, yeah, I think I'm going to be okay. So I was annoyed. But I was like, yeah, no, I'm pretty sure I know what it is that I want. This guy is like, let me show you some other cars. He takes me over to a Jeep Cherokee, okay, which is like mom car 101. And there's nothing wrong with a Jeep Cherokee.
Nothing wrong with the mom car.
Wanting a Jeep Wrangler. That's why I'm here, because I want a Jeep Wrangler. And he was like, I think something like this would be better suited for you, blah, blah, blah. It's got this, this, and this. I said, sir, thank you so much for this. I would like a different salesperson.
That's what I was going to say.
Right? I said, and he was like, wait, why? And remember, they all work on commission, right? And I'm asking for a more expensive car. So I didn't, as a salesperson as well.
I don't even understand this man.
Anyway, so I said to him, thank you so much. I would actually like to deal with a different salesperson. He was like, no, wait, why? No. And I said, because I'm not happy with how you've engaged with me. I've told you what I've wanted. You've insulted me as just because I'm a woman. I don't know. You think I can't do the things you think I can't drive because I'm a woman. I don't know what you think, but how you've engaged with me, how you've spoken to me, I do not like it. I do not appreciate it. I would like a different salesperson. And I said, preferably a woman. Okay. And he was like pushing back. He's like, no, like, please. He's like, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to offend. I said, okay, it's fine. I didn't raise my voice. I didn't like yell, shout, scream. I wanted to engage my inner Karen so badly, but I was like, keep it together, girl.
Yo, guys, Cassie's inner Karen, hey?
When she comes out, she's strong. But I was like, no. I was like, it's okay. I said, thank you so much for your apology. I would still like a different salesperson. I've not had a good experience. He pushed back. I said, I'd like to speak to a manager. The manager came. I explained my situation, gave me another lady by the name of Nada. Nada was amazing. Nada sold me.
I did meet her.
You met Nada.
You met Nada,
yeah. Went to go pick up a car, right? Nada herself drives a Jeep Wrangler. I told her my story. She was like, that guy's an idiot. I said, girl, you don't need to tell me. And she got the commission on my brand new Jeep Wrangler. Do you know what I mean? Be inconvenient. Like in that moment, I was inconvenient. I could have shut down. I could have said, it's okay. Like, fine, let's just proceed with the sale, whatever. But no, I was inconvenient. I was inconvenient for the branch. I was inconvenient for the manager. I was inconvenient for the original sales guy. And I like to think that they walked away and they learned a lesson. Who knows? I don't know.
Probably not. Probably not.
Hopefully he'll think twice.
This is actually something that I have learned from you. This using your voice. I mean, at the time I wasn't thinking about you being inconvenient or anything. It was just Cassie knows what she wants and she will ask for it. She will ask politely, and you've got this voice you put on when you're about to do that thing. It's very ridiculous. I can't even. I'm terrible at voices, but Cass has this voice she puts on when she's about to like dress you down. She's just like, excuse me, hello, hi. she's like proper. I don't even know how to describe it.
I'm laughing and then I know exactly what you know.
Exactly. And then she'll look at you and she'll go, we ordered 2 of these, but you only brought 1. And you'll smile the entire time and you'll be like, I was wondering if you could go break. Thank you so much. Thank you. And then you face me and you continue whatever conversation we were having, like that moment didn't just happen. And this one that I'll never forget, we had someone's birthday and you had ordered a shisha. I'll never forget it because I remember pushing you like, Cass, let's just go. It's fine. It's like an extra how many dirhams? Let's just pay it and go. And Cass was like, no. So you'd ordered shisha and the guy had snuck in something on the bill. So you hadn't ordered like a special one or something. I don't know.
I see.
I don't know anything about it.
Yeah,
but then he'd gone and given you like maybe a top range one or a pricier one or whatever and just snuck it into the bill. Yeah. So he brings the bill and you're about to pay and then you look at him like, I didn't order this. And then you go, excuse me, hi. And he comes over and you're like, I didn't order this. Why is this here? And he goes, oh no, but that's what he gave you. And Cassie was like, yeah, but I didn't order it. I ordered this instead. And it was like, yeah, he just gave you a, Cassie's like, okay, I didn't order this, so I will not be paying for it. And you go down, the rest is fine, but I will not be paying for this. And the guy's like, no, you have to pay. And Cassie's like, okay, should we go see your manager then? And I was like, Cassandra, pay the bill and let's go. Like, I just didn't want the drama. And Cassie was like, no, it's fine. And the entire time, you didn't raise your voice. You didn't get upset. You weren't rude. You were just firm. You were like, I did not ask you to give me this thing. I might now have consumed this particular product, but I didn't ask for it. I asked for something else. This is on you, my bruv. Me, I'm like, oh, if she goes to the manager and the manager finds out that he gave you a more expensive one, they're going to take out of his paycheck. And I don't want that to happen. So I'm just going to suck it up and just pay. That's how my mind, ordinarily works. But when you sit back and you think about it, it's possible he did it very intentionally. Because people size you up and sometimes think, oh, this one can afford it. It's like at the hair salon. We've told this story before. Where they try to make us pay more because she was like that. And those were her words. Oh, bill her, she can afford it.
That one can afford it.
I'm like, maybe that's what this man did, in which case he does need to be called on the carpet. He does need to be called out. Like, my guy, you can't do that. I'm not working hard and making money so that I can give it to you for free,
Yeah. I remember that.
I'm learning from you. I wouldn't have. And at the end of the day, it got sorted out. There was no much.
Yeah, but it was real quick too.
It was real quick. Yeah.
It was real quick.
And Cass just, let's go see your manager. And Cass is matching off. Off we go.
I was like, let's go. Let's go sort it out.
Oh my God.
Together we can find an agreement on this. That's what I think.
And this is how she'll be. She'll put on this really fake, sweet, accommodating voice when we all know she is about to rock you.
Like I said before, I don't like inefficiency and I don't like being illogical.
I don't like inefficiency.
So if there's something that needs to be clarified, let's talk about it. Let's clarify.
Yeah, no, it's a good approach. Whether you are in the workplace or among friends or at a salon or at a bar or whatever, let's talk about it. Let's clarify. Use the thing that makes it stand out so much more for me is that all these decades of women, all of the women who have fought, who have spoken out, who have put everything on the line, did not do so for me to get here today and not use the voice that they have given me. That was not the intent. The intent was that they went through it so that we have a voice and we should use it. We should have a better life.
And that we have choice. right?
We have choice. You've got to
We have
have
a
that.
voice and we've got choice.
Oof.
And
Yeah.
I mean, another angle, like the last thing I'll say on this whole being inconvenient thing is I believe that, okay, and go on the journey with me on this thought because it's a new thought. But let's see. I'm going to try. Okay. We are constantly told that women are submissive.
Are we?
Okay, no, we are. Women.
I thought we were being told to be submissive, not that we are.
Well, then welcome. I think I'm going to land my point. This is good, right? But like, I believe that we're told, or rather let me say, maybe men are told this, that women are more submissive, that women must submit to husband, must submit to men, must do all of this stuff, right? And I wonder if, like, I was just kind of thinking, I was like, where did this come from? Because I don't know that it's entirely true. If you look at, for example, and I'm going to go back to like straight up biology, animals, okay? If we look at pets, for example, girl cats, girl dogs, significantly harder to train than than boy dogs, right? And boy cats, significantly harder to train. Right. If I think about the kinds of jobs that are traditionally thought of as jobs for men are jobs where orders are taken. Right. Think about the army. Think about police. Think about those weird jobs where people go and like, well, go and fish on the North Sea. Like, you know.
You said those weird jobs where people go and fish.
When I say weird jobs, I'm very impressed, by the way. I spend a lot of time on TikTok watching you guys fish in the North Sea. But like, or those jobs where you have to work on an oil rig. Like the jobs that are typically done by men, they require structure, order, and for you to follow orders. And men just do those jobs better. I actually think men are more submissive than women are. I really do. They're easier to train. Even if you look at like, and I'm kidding, but I mean like we laugh about it, but even on TikTok, like the woman will be like, I need to do this, this, and this. And then my husband will do 1, 2, 3. Like she knows, right? She knows if I do this, then my husband will pick it up and he'll put it here. She's trained him to do it the way she wants it to be done. In a more serious tone as well, you see women around the world leveraging their voices and pushing back against order, against structure that doesn't make sense for them. I'm going to point to women in Afghanistan, right? I'm going to point to women in Iran where the oppression is so blatant and so loud and so obvious, but still they show up and they protest in the streets. Still they show up and shout and demand for the things that they know need to be true for them. So I do wonder if women are actually, and maybe this is a PSA for men.
If men are actually more submissive than women?
Men might actually be more submissive.
Come tell us. I want to know. I want to know because you're not wrong about the men following orders and things, but
exactly. And what men will also do, if you look in the comments, is really it's just like, why can't these women fall in line? Why won't she just do what she's told? Why won't she just cook and clean? Why won't she just get married and have babies? Why is she pushing back on me so hard? Because we are not submissive. It's actually not in our nature.
Wait. I've said this thing to someone before, so I know we need to end this episode because I also need to go. But
yeah.
A friend of mine was getting married and he asked me about this thing in scripture that says women should submit and men should love their wives. And he was like, do I think, like, what do I think on it? And I remember saying to him that I don't really know that scripture meant it the way we have taken it. I said, I think that what scripture was really saying in that moment was calling us out on the things that it knows we struggle with. Which is why for women, loving is easier for us. That's why he didn't tell us to love. He knows we're going to love and we will do it till our dying breath. What's hard for us is submitting.
Good
which is why he's like, submit because he's calling you out on your nonsense. Same applies for men. I'm like, if men are already submissive, don't come for me. Maybe that's why he's like, you guys struggle with love a little bit. So love your wives in this manner. And I remember saying to him, maybe that's what scripture really means. It's like calling us out on our nonsense.
It's a really good, it's a really,
I don't know.
really
I don't
good
know.
point.
It's just a thought.
Yeah,
Christians don't come for me. Just a thought.
Yeah, I think that there is, I think it is, I mean, because we're both Christians. So I think there is something to be said about what the Bible does say about, you know, women submit to your husbands. But it also says that husbands must love their wives as Christ loved the church. Right? And what did Christ do for the church? It's Easter weekend right now as we film this, right? He died. He laid down his life. Okay, which means he put her first.
Yeah.
Like he put her first. And I think that it's easy to submit in the context that the Bible, I believe, is talking about it. It's easier to submit to a man if he's the kind of person who is going to show up for you first, love you, protect you. You know, this is a safe space for you. But the minute those things are not true, it's no longer wise for me to submit to you because you're not a safe space for me. Right?
I'm just thinking about it in terms of what you are saying, that it's harder for women to submit. And I'm like, maybe that's why that's in there. Because we are actually built a little strong-headed. It is difficult. And so it's in there because you have to work hard to get there. I don't know.
Such a good point. Anyway, I think the key takeaway is there is definitely a shift that is happening in how women are choosing to show up in the world. I think it's lovely. I think it's beautiful. It's focused around choosing self. It's focused around setting boundaries. It's focused around peace over approval, you know?
Yeah,
it's
peace over approval.
Over acceptance of others, you know? So I think that that's wonderful. And I think that that's amazing. And I think it's going to produce women who are ultimately happier, who live longer, who are positively contributing to the world. So my advice to you is be inconvenient. Be inconvenient. Be inconvenient by choosing yourself, you know, and if you're making people uncomfortable because of the boundaries that you set, know that it's not about you. It's actually about them needing to kind of get used to the thing that they've been encouraging us to do for many, many years now, right? So be inconvenient. I hope you enjoyed this episode. I would love to hear your thoughts on it. So definitely like, comment, share, subscribe, do all of the things, and let us know what's going through your minds on this. Also on this thing on being submissive. I'd like to hear what people. Oh my gosh,
I don't know.
Are women more submissive? Naturally, actually,
are men more submissive?
Oh, thank you. Yes, are men actually more submissive than women? They're just easier to train. Like, I don't know. Just an interesting thought that crossed my mind. But yes, come say hi. We promise we'll say hi back. Okay, love you, bye.
Okay, love you, bye.
Hey, thanks for listening. Please don't forget to like and subscribe anywhere and everywhere you find your podcasts. You can also watch and subscribe on YouTube and follow us on Instagram and TikTok. Okay, love you, bye.